Hello, everyone. Thank you for your interest in the San Diego Center for AIDS Research International Pilot Grant Award. I'm David Gurlati, one of the San Diego CFAR International Corps' leadership trainees. The International Corps has produced this series of webinars to give you a better understanding of the International Pilot Research Grant and the grant application process. We are thrilled today to be joined by Dr. Davey Smith, who along with Dr. Doug Richmond directs the San Diego CFAR. Dr. Smith is a professor of medicine at UC San Diego and a leader in HIV research, whose research is focused on both preventing and curing HIV. Welcome, Dr. Smith.
Thanks for having me.
So we're really pleased that you're here. One of the San Diego CFAR's goals has been to provide opportunities for international researchers to conduct HIV research. How would you describe the San Diego CFAR and its role in fostering international research?
So the San Diego CFAR was funded since 1994 and has had a long track record of funding international, domestic and international HIV research, and was one of the first leaders in promoting HIV research in international settings, specifically designed to help people who are living in low and middle income countries tackle their own epidemic through rigorous research.
And I'm curious if you can describe some of the different features that I think might be very relevant for applicants, like who are its members, their particular expertises, and some of the organization of the CFAR, like the CFAR cores.
For sure. So the San Diego CFAR, like all CFARs, is organized around various cores. And these cores are specifically designed to provide areas of expertise that oftentimes new investigators might not have access to, but want to learn or want to use in their research. One big component of our San Diego CFAR is our administrative core, and it's the first thing that people interact with when they're submitting grants and getting IRB and regulatory approval for various research. That's one. And then the other ones are the more scientific cores. And one of those is our clinical investigation core, and that's a core that provides expertise and resources necessary for clinical research, health science research, epidemiology research, and sometimes also provides behavioral research, which we're expanding soon. But it supports the community engagement, helps find participants, helps find appropriate populations, which can help with research. But they also do data safety monitoring boards and other components of clinical research that individual investigators don't often have access to. Our other core that's similar to the clinical investigation core is disparities. It's also associated with community engagement. It's headed by Dr. Stockman, and it is specifically targeted towards hard to reach and vulnerable and underserved populations. These are populations that need HIV research perhaps the most, but are hard to engage and hard to reach. And this core is specifically designed as a resource for domestic and international HIV researchers for their research in this area. Another core that's often used by international investigators is our biostats and modeling core, and it's directed by Dr. Jane and Dr. Martin, and it's a centralized resource for biostatistics for analyzing data, but also biostatistics for putting together a grant, and how do you power a grant, and how do you make an analytical plan for a grant, both on the developmental or international pilot side, but also for a bigger grant. They also do a lot of infectious disease modeling for people who want to look at impact of various interventions, etc. And they do training at all levels for people wanting to learn how to do these methods, or for putting together manuscripts and needing those things analyzed. Another set of our cores are associated with more what we call basic science, or the need for high-tech instrumentation. One of those is our flow cytometry core, which is led by Dr. Spina, and it is a centralized resource for technical expertise around immunology. It provides major equipment to be able to analyze all sorts of immune markers and not only analyze those, but once you have the data, it helps you analyze those data and puts those in the context of your research project. Similarly, another core is genomics and sequencing. For HIV, it requires oftentimes a lot of virology analysis, and we do that through high throughput genomics and sequencing, and then also gene expression. And the core led by Dr. Looney does a very good job at providing expertise in all these areas, but also the instrumentation to get the work done, and the bioinformatics to actually analyze the data once they're produced. Similarly, the protein expression and proteomics core, led by Dr. Torbit, analyzes proteins from various sources, both in vitro and in vivo. It also looks at protein extraction from cell lines and tissues and viral cultures. It provides mass spectrometry expertise and provides those data along with helps analyze those data. This is a very new and cutting edge area of a lot of HIV research, and we want to provide our investigators that expertise. Similarly, we have a translational virology core, and it's one of the cores that tries to bridge the gap between the clinical and disparities core over to some of our basic science cores. So let's say you have a population that you want to study and you need blood from them, or you need other clinical samples. That would be the core that would help you appropriately obtain those samples, cryopreserve those samples, track those samples, and then provide them to the other cores like the flow cytometry core for analysis and help people get the data that they need from those cores. The translational virology core also provides clinically relevant assays such as viral loads or drug resistance tests or drug susceptibility tests. That would be the core that would help with there. The other two cores are devoted towards training and raising the next generation of HIV researchers. The first one is the developmental core for domestic and new investigators. And it's about having new ideas in HIV research and for getting those experiments started and the preliminary data needed to get the next level of HIV grants. The other one is the international core, which provides international pilot grants, which helps emerging foreign investigators to develop their own research projects and get collaborations and research to the next level to be able to successfully compete for higher level grants.
That's a great description of all the variety of resources available at the San Diego CFAR. I can imagine for many international applicants, it'd be difficult to know how to get started. And I'm just curious if you might have some advice for them about how they might be able to get access to some of the resources at the San Diego CFAR cores, and maybe even figure out who might be a good collaborator for them at the San Diego CFAR.
That is a great question. So we pride ourselves at the San Diego CFAR for having members of our CFAR cores that I just mentioned and directors specifically who are energetic and happy and want to help people get their research together. And my best advice is if you have an idea, you reach out to one of those directors who you think could help you with your research. And those directors will email you back and want to hear more about your project and talk to you whether or not their core can help. The thing that I want to say is please apply, please reach out, please have your great ideas and bring them to us and see how we can help make it to the next level for the research. We all are in this together to end this epidemic, and that is the mission of our CFAR, whether that's through cure or vaccine or behavioral change or whatever it takes, and it's going to take everything that we got to get there. And it's hopefully the San Diego CFAR can help people all throughout the world do those great things.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Smith, for all of your mentorship, expertise, and enthusiasm. The San Diego CFAR is truly dynamic, and I know we're always looking for dynamic partners around the world to promote innovative HIV research. So in addition to contacting folks at San Diego CFAR, applicants can also review a lot of the information about the International Pilot Program on our website. They can also get additional webinars about putting together a proposal. And we're always available at the International Core by email for more information. So we look forward to hearing from folks. Definitely want to hear more about people's exciting research ideas and how we can get that into a grant and hopefully into an end to this HIV epidemic in the future.